Hey guys, Kai from Kaiser Take One here, back with the newest chapter review of the Promised Neverlands. And I'm here to tell you a little bit about this chapter just before the intro. It was actually an okay chapter. It was a little bit interesting, a little bit more action-packed this time around. And can't wait to actually discuss a little bit more just after the intro. So, like further ado, in 3, 2, 1, hit the intro. Okay, so chapter 149 of the Promised Neverlands continues off in somewhat of where it left off. It shows the war continuing on within the capital. We see a slight flashback of Emma and Ray seeing the damages that's being caused within the capital as well. While Ray and Emma, in their demon disguises, run to one of the towers, and they are then realizing that they might be trapped. They look around, everywhere is sealed off, nowhere in or anything. And then Emma sees a little window or a little small passage, and Emma goes to Ray, "How about we use this?" And they do the whole support push up so Emma can then jump up, and Ray says go because it looks like he won't be able to get up there himself. So he's leaving it up to Emma. So Emma jumps up and continues. And then it heads back to the main capital, or the palace, where Gillian's forces are facing the Queen. And they're just surprised that this is concerning how Dozer himself was ousted. Because as you know, that Dozer was the one that betrayed Gillian just so he could get into power. And we learn how he was like the chief of the House of Gillian, how low-born though he may have been. His battle prowess was formidable, mayhaps second only to the Queen and everything, and what a lord and what a house. And we just see everything that's just happening here. And they just seemed that something was odd. They mentioned how they thought it was Gillian that was doing the whole stealing from the Lombarda farms and the raids there, but it must be somebody else that were attacking them. Obviously, we knew that it was actually Norman and his team that's actually done the raids to save the cattle there, the cattle children there, and everything like that. So we knew already that it was somebody already doing it, and it was already Norman that was doing this. So they're still discussing of who it could have been. Well, we see a little flashback of Norman and one of his members with him, and one of the demons already wondering who it could be. The Queen then says enough. Now, one of the servants that we realised was a servant I thought was Gillian, but wasn't. It said it and everything, and mentioned that Evelk is always been there, was like the administrator for the royal family, even for the Queen, so he's always there to confirm the next, I would say, excuse me, Queen or royalty or whoever's next. And then they continue talking, a little bit of flashback panels and how they want Gillian to be the next king, and they then go on a full-on attack against the Queen Legravilima, and she just goes fools and just slice their heads off, or half the heads off, and they just say don't falter, and they just keep on attacking. Then it goes on to a little bit of a flashback on how they don't believe that Gillian would have been a traitor, and they'll be always by his side, and they just went and joined him and even offered themselves to Gillian to make sure he stays in somewhat of his noble or humanoid form, and everything, and they managed to survive only thanks to the sacrifice of their people and everything like that. And we just see the end of a majority of the people that were trusting and believable to Gillian, and that they never trusted monarchy, and it just is a shame that they all died for who they believed in, and it just is very sad that they are. But then it ends with an incident and they shouted out, "Your Majesty," and something must have happened to the Queen. But that's where the chapter ends. So the whole story with Gillian is actually a very sad one, and I feel a lot of sorrow within Gillian now, definitely when he was pushed back into his beast state, and him eating his followers without realizing, and then once he got back into his normal state, his regular state, his non-beast state, his heart must have been in tatters, just realizing what he's done, because everything and the life he's gained from eating his followers is everything, because they pretty much offered their lives to him so he could get back to being who he was. And it's just so saddening, to say the least, that his story is... I'm sorry, but I think Gillian's story is a lot more in effectiveness and a lot more sadder than Emma's and Ray's and Norman's, because of the fact that he went through hell. He got thrown out and betrayed by his peers. And this little story reminds me of a certain situation in the anime manga community at the moment. Well, mainly in the anime community, of a certain voice actor. I'm not going to mention it or anything, but it reminds me of this, how one person goes behind his back and gets him thrown out and make him look out like a traitor, and it just throws him under the bus. But now I really am sorry about the guy. He's gone out of his way to now attack, because he's done a deal with Norman, who is planning to kill him anyway, and we've got Emma now trying to stop this, because she's made a new promise, and I have a funny feeling if Gillian wins this and Emma can get to them as close as possible and say that she has made a new promise, made a new deal, then she can actually work close with Gillian to make sure everything is balanced, because I can see Gillian and Emma working together, because Gillian's past is very tragic, how he lost his status as royalty, as a lord, just going down the hill and drain, because he got pushed out because nobody liked his idea, even though it was a much more sensible idea, and it just didn't work out for them, and it just is sad. But anyway, this chapter just feels more open about how much sorrow you can feel within this chapter with Gillian, and how much you feel for his followers, for his people, and it just shows how much that the system that the Queen's doing is so corrupted and so wrong that it just isn't right. It just isn't right, and everything like that. So this was a very great chapter, because not only do you learn a little bit more about Gillian, how much his followers, how much Gillian means to his people, to the people that believed him, in his family, in his clan. They trust him and believed him, even to the point where he got ousted, that they knew he wouldn't do such a thing, and they are right. He would not do such a thing like what happened to him in this chapter or in that flashback, and I just felt sorry for him. I feel sorry for this demon Gillian, and it just shows. Now, I'm going to end it like always. I want you to hit the I right now and rate this chapter out of 5. And I want to see what your thoughts down in the comments section down below as well. So I want you to rate this chapter and then tell me what you liked and didn't like down in the description box down below, because that's really is what I want to know. No, other than that, for me, I enjoyed this chapter. It was a very interesting chapter, a great story again, continuation, and one where I actually feel sorry for Gillian and his past continues to resonate in me and reminds me of a certain situation that's been happening within the anime community at the moment. But it just shows how corrupt people can be, even when they got given power to do certain things. But other than that, I've been your host, Kai from Kai's Ortega Corner, and I'll see you next time for another Promised Neverland chapter review, or for the next Kamen Rider 01 episode review. But other than that, I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now. See ya. Hey guys, Kai from Kai's Ortega Corner here, and I just want to remind you guys, down in the video description you can find my Facebook fan page and my Twitter account, links down in the video description down below. I do post sometimes some exclusive content and behind the scenes photos and everything like that up there, and sometimes do little like Q&As and everything like that. So if you want to follow me there, keep up to date with me via those social medias, then you can check out via the address bar that you see on the screen, or you can just follow and click the links down in the video description down below as well. And you can check out, I do the exact same thing that I do on my Facebook fan page, on Twitter as well, because I like to try and interact as much as possible with my fans. But other than that, hopefully you guys will go and follow me. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed this review of the Promised Neverlands, chapter 149. I really, like I've mentioned near the end of the main portion of the video, I really did enjoy the chapter and everything. So like always, you can follow me on social media platforms that I mentioned earlier as well, and click on the links down in the video description down below. You can also find my Patreon, my Coffee accounts down in the video description down below as well. Also, you can also hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and also click that notification button as well, so you can keep up to date with all my videos. Also, don't forget to check out any of these videos that pop up right now. You can also check out last week's review as well, if you haven't already, and see what my thoughts were on that, and tell me what you thought about the chapter as well, just by following it. And also, I'll see you next time. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as well. I've been your host, Kai from Kai's Ortega Corner, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. See ya.